of Tidehunter right now from the offlane position relative to the other like tier 1 offlaners. Like these heroes like Magnuses, even Void Spirits, Primal Beasts, Beastmasters, and then there's, Tide. You're like, oh, hey, buddy.
I think the caveat here is just tankiness and survivability, right? Like a Tide plus Abaddon Corgio going into like mid to late game. Is Void Spirit really going to have fun in this game executing these heroes? Like, it's not as if we're going to see like, oh my god, the Tide got 100 to 0. I think maybe you have to go like Silver Edge on Void Spirit and change up your itemization a little bit. But last Dark, like, there's something about their draft that I think there's hope for them for sure. It's this like Echo Saber, Manta, Tide getting some auras, Storm always killing Oracle, and then I think they have a route to win the game, but it's heavily dependent on just so much gold.
Let's see if they can get that gold in this game. The horn has now sounded. Yet again, we might have a small skirmish around these runes, but Holy Grail say, not this time. It'll just be a standard 2-2 bounty rune affair. So
nice even trade-off.
Yep. Mid lane is going to be what we see a lot nowadays, Spirit versus Spirit. And what we normally see is Spirit versus Spirit, boring as hell. We trade farm, do nothing until supports arrive. Yay. So looking on the side, see which one's more exciting. Which lane are we expecting the first bloods to be happening on?
I feel like Holy Grail, the Magnus lane, basically. That should be the lane that has a little bit more fight in it. You're going to have the shockwaves into the brambles. You're going to have potential Abaddon overstepping his mark on the flip side if Willow wastes Realm. So yeah, this top lane is going to be the consistent aggressive lane. And even I'm saying that in the bot lane right now, Rubik is getting blood grenaded. And gone on a little bit, but unable to get the stun.
Normal End is actually playing this series out of his goddamn mind. He was supposed to be dead right now. Like, stun hits him, one blood grenade, and he's gone. But he jukes away. Make sure that Summer has no choice but to just throw it onto Shining. What a player.
Really nice stuff. And yeah, Normal End doing good work.
Yeah. Definitely doing quite the utmost for his team so far. But Summer's also going to be farming away. The frustrating thing for him is that they can't really stop this Alchemist from accruing net worth, even with this Tidehunter. So this laning phase is going to be just them, not going to be them being able to apply mass amounts of pressure onto this Alki. Going to get a big chunky boy.
I'm trying to see if Last Hand had a pro team before this. Because like on his Dota buff, it was a lot of like in-house tournament games. And then his first real showing was, on this team, I feel. So this is, maybe there's a tournament that I'm missing, but it's pretty much one of his main first teams he's appeared on. So very good showing straight off the bat from him.
Yeah. I've definitely never heard of his name before. So if you can't find it on Dota Buff, I haven't heard about it. The only reliable source of Chinese info is B-Cup. Must ask him, hey man, do you know this Normal End guy?
Do you know this guy who doesn't have a Wikipedia page and has like 100 games of just some random league where he's playing every different hero possible, which I think gives me in-house vibes, but yeah, fair play. Yeah, this is the cool thing, especially with like the Div 2 and like, for example, like I'd love to know like the lore behind Erica joining like this team. For like a player with like the pedigree and playing on Vici, of course, he did get replaced by Fly for like the tail end of the season. Like it wasn't like the perfect tour for him in no means, but it's interesting. Like, why does he pick these players? Like the new position 4 that we haven't seen before, the mid laner from outsiders from China. Like what did he see in them that really, all right, I'm gonna join these guys rather than just joining just another established team?
Mid lane gone. Should be fine here. The lore apparently, right, the word on the streets is that he was the one that wanted to leave Vici first.
Sure.
And then they approached Fly afterwards. Yeah, so maybe the situation has just been that, he spent a couple of years on Vici, things haven't really worked out there. So he's like, let's try the opposite direction. Instead of the seasoned pros and the veterans, let's just go play with some new kids and make my own way.
Yeah, that's the cool thing, because I think a lot of teams in Division 2, it's often one player, and then there's like some managerial person or coach attached, and they kind of together navigate these divisions where they're finding players, building up the rosters. And I don't know how it operates in China Division 2, but it would be cool to see, like, understand if it was like Erica, the one doing the work, finding these players. Is it more natural just from pubs? Like, is there a person behind the scenes who's actually kind of just coordinating the roster and going, yo, Erica, I found this opportunity. I think this combination is good. So, yeah. Hopefully some website will do interviews and stuff and find out the answers for us.
While we're busy wondering all of this, we do have the first blood happening in the game. DQQ taking out our silencer. So the Holy Grail off to a definitely better start than the last time out. Makes him feel very, very good. So all their lanes kind of working out right now, but the mid lane, dude, they're getting crushed middle. Holy smokes. Gun is getting himself worked by Echo at the moment.
God, Echo really wants that back-to-back MVP. I know it's very important. Of course, if Echo, he'd be upset if he didn't get it. I know the English broadcast MVP system is really what he's playing for here. Not the TI power rankings, but no, he is, 33 for 7 to the 20 and the 2. Voice Spirit. Every time he steps up, he's just getting hit by the Vortex into Overload Remnants. Like, he's not able to play with confidence. Yeah. Normally this matchup's a little bit, I guess Storm is slightly Storm favored, but to be this favored, Echo's done some work.
Echo. Putting in the work. Has some support coming in right now. They actually might kill DQQ on his young Maresca. She's going to try survive with the Shadow Realm, but should be dead no matter what. The question is, has there been enough setup with the Bramble Maze for Gun? There might have been, but unfortunately, Void Spirit 70 experience short of having level 6 feels bad.
I thought Silencer was going to sense the ward that was placed in desperation by the Dark Willow, but alas, it wasn't. Yeah. Last Dark bringing the supports. They brought them very early as well, to be fair. They came at like the 5-minute 30 mark, walked their way, killed off a Willow, and then also secured the rune. So this will be the benefit of having Abaddon and Tidehunter as your side lane cores. They're so tanky and independent that the Silencer Rubik, a naturally quite static support duo, are able to make the unconventional rotations.
Top lane, speaking of moves, Dolem getting gone on right now, and they might be able to kill off this Magnus. He's so low, he finally ends up ticking out, but it comes at a very expensive cost as they end up losing the Abaddon and the Rubik as well. Nice little response by Holy Grail to come top at the perfect moment and find the kill onto the core hero of this Abaddon.
Nice stuff. I mean, in your dying moments of Magnus, is always an opportunity to make a play, be it throwing out the RP and then dying, skewering into a disadvantage or a bad position. I'm not even going to try and say that. It's too early in the morning, but you get the point. So, yeah, nice stuff. And now, dead.
They unfortunately end up losing their Alchemist. They couldn't stop him, but Garn looking for some revenge here. Will be able to bring down the Tidehunter. So it's a 1-for-1. Echo, though, finally making his presence known on the map by showing up to this bottom side.
Yeah. I like the fact that we are seeing Gun make these rotations. Like, it's so critical when you're behind on mid to see opportunities to TP and get the kill. It's also why Spirit Heroes are so good in meta, and also have been in meta for multiple years, because the era of like Tops and Tiny going forwards, and now it's just like they come to my tower, I TP, I want to kill them. So Storm, Ember, Void, all these heroes just excel at the counter rotation plays. Same thing with Pop. Anything spicy in itemization coming out? Really, not so much.
No, seems pretty normal so far. But it's also a little bit of early days. Might see people doing something to respond. Rubik should end up dead now. SJ and DQQ just happy to still go around killing off some supports, doing their thing. I still want to find out what this Abaddon's going to build though for this game. For Mr. YSR-04E.
Yes, a very well-known pro. So I'm looking at Pro Tracker just to understand what the vibe is. Has Abaddon been played carry that much? And it's been picked up by Team Sexy Carry in Eastern Europe, RTW, Nightfall's played it, Yataro's even played it recently, so it's kind of getting popularity from some of the big carries. Tomato's played it as well. And I think the variation in build is Manta Harpoon or Radiance Manta Harpoon. That's like the clear difference I see right now. Just can they get the Radiance and not be punished?
I think for this game, I would love Harpoon. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm leaning on the non-Radiance approach. But I guess the alternative... So they have two options, right? It's Radiance to make sure you will eventually get to the 6 items and beat out Holy Grail's lineup. Or you go for the Harpoon and hope that you just execute in the mid-game.
We're going to try and execute Dolem right now on the top side of the map, but unfortunately for them, SJ is right here, has access to the Fate's Edict. So completely A-OK. And bottom, Shining did lose some of his HP there, but they also didn't have the damage to kill him off. So offlaners all across the map are A-OK.
Yeah, and this is not going to be a carry matchup that will be too exciting for the Abaddon. Like, it's not as if you're an MKB buyer to punish this Alchemist and whatnot. Storm is going to jump in the mid, but happily we'll be able to zip disengage.
Yeah.
So last dark, they are, I think, going to just need to find that momentum.
Storm dumps back in, looking for this Maresca. She goes into the Shadow Realm, though, and now all of a sudden, Storm Spirit very low on the HP. Fortune's in, roots him in position for a second, but he does jump onto SJ. Spends most of his mana pool to do so, and here is going to be a Ravage, first one of the game, committed just for the Oracle kill. As Tidehunter makes his presence known elsewhere on the map as well, gets off the Ravage kill. I imagine... is that worth it, in your opinion, at the end of the day?
I don't think he's going to be ravaging anyone else, so I can respect it for the time spent in your rotation. If you don't get a kill, it feels a lot worse. So get the ravage, get the kill, go back to bot lane. Both teams lack ways to progress the map. You're not seeing some Beastmasters, some Pugna style hero, where one bad spell equals a loss of a tier 1 tower. So I think it's honestly perfectly fine to use spells if it is going to secure a kill.
Back to farming a little bit all across the map.
He's going for the Radiance on Abba. He's queued it up.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask you about this because he's saving all this gold. He was thinking about it. But now he says, well, we're committed.
I guess it is just the Alk factor, right? Like, if he doesn't go Radiance and he goes Harpoon, then unless he gets some, like, incredible kill, Alk's going to have, like, 3 items on the Abaddon. But if Abaddon goes Radiance, then at least he'll always have like that extra half item going into an engagement. He'll be on the cusp of chasing the Alk. Like, no way will he farm as quickly, but it'll give him at least a crutch to play on in this game.
I suppose as well when you have this Radiance, and that's less damage that this Alk does to you.
Sure.
For quite a fair portion of the game.
Yeah.
Both lineups now trying to take down tier 1 towers. So we're having some mirrored moves. Lost Ark should be able to claim theirs first, but Holy Grail not far behind. And SJ thinks he scouted out a potential kill here. And indeed, Silencer is waiting in the wings, but he's waiting for backup. Looks like they're considering a defense as Lost Ark dragging the Storm Spirit. They're just waiting. The tower's down bottom. They're bringing back the Tidehunter, and he has Ravage soon. I'm not sure they can finish off the tower in time here, T. But we're going to see if they can. 15 seconds to Ravage. Tower about to fall, and Gone actually jumping in. Thought about starting off this fight. Instead, they started off onto the Silencer as they kill off YYYY quite easily. No Blink Dagger available for Dolem just yet, so no skewer plays onto the Tidehunter. I'm kind of surprised that Lost Ark brought all those heroes and then just did nothing.
It was a really awkward engagement, and I feel like even trying to defend it just felt a little bit wrong. Ravage wasn't available, your Abaddon is in farming mode, you don't really have the damage from your supports. It's not as if there's like, let's say there's a Scarif Mage, right? Some Storm Zip Sky, you're going to kill a hero. You at least get something from that engagement, but the way that Last Ark play these fights is about pickoffs, and a pickoff they shall find. Potentially
looking for
hold.
right now on the Void Spirit. They pop the Global Silence, but SJ gets off the False Promise. So Ghana's going to be A-OK. They just ran out of the damages, like you said. These supports don't have enough punch right now. So despite finding the setup, It looked like a layup, but they got dribbled around and they just end up wasting their spells and mana.
Yeah. And that attempt of a pickoff will now install a new mindset into the last arc. It's now, wait a second, don't go for the pickoffs, just continue farming. If they've got an Alk and we can't kill the Alk because one, we don't have heroes for it, and two, they have an Oracle, we need to just be more efficient on the map. Force the game to be Alk versus 3 cores. And it's not really happening right now because Mag's in second in net worth, but if Last Ark are able to not react as much, potentially they can get their 3 cores into a position where 1 Alk death, 2 Alk deaths, the game's in a more manageable state. And it's always scary. Like this Alk pick, I expected Last Ark to pick it up, but the fact that Holy Grail had the mindset to even go for themselves, it really is a game changer. Like if they didn't have Alk, this game much harder. So big step up on the draft from Holy Grail from game 1 to game 2.
We'll see now. Top lane, they're going to find themselves an additional kill onto Shining. He's been stunned up. He does at least have the Pipe of Insight that he just picked up, but it's not going to save him ultimately, as he does still get brought down on the other side of the map. Abaddon has been come across by this Maresca, and they maybe want to find the kills, but the TP attempt will be there. Unfortunately, for the Dark Widow, Storm Spirit comes even faster. 1-for-1 trade on the map, but a trade that Holy Grail will take any day of the week, bringing down Shining on his Tidehunter. Mid lane, they're actually not done just yet. They're thinking about going on to Garm, but as soon as they make that jump, probably someone on the team is like, guys, yo, remember what happened last time? Like, okay, this is not going anywhere.
That was actually so cool from Oracle. So in that play, as soon as they started zipping onto the Void Spirit, the Oracle preemptively fully charged his Fortune's End on himself. Because if the global gets used, it would cancel, dispelling the global to then be able to ultimate the False Promise. So as the Storm zipped in, of course, they saw the Oracle. They weren't going to try and commit, but just the fact that the Oracle had that mindset of need to prevent global, if it worked, it would have been such an OP play, but alas, it didn't.
They're gonna need the Oracle again here now because a fight is breaking out in this mid lane. Global Silence will come out. Ravage is on though from Shining, catching 3 heroes, including the Oracle. SJ is the first one killed off. Does buy back, however. Lift back on Gun into Summer, who's still alive and very healthy here. RP dragging the Rubik as well as a Abaddon together. As Normal End dies, Dolan will get a double for this. And they just feel a little bit too strong right now on the side of Holy Grail. The Last Dark didn't even bring the entire complement, so it was a 5v4 affair. This fight's not even over just yet. Silencer eats a Curse Crown, but as he gets behind the tier 2, that'll sound the end of the engagement, as Holy Grail will claim a tier 1 tower as a reward.
Just look at the Alk versus Abaddon right now. 12,000 net worth from the Alchemist. He's got Sanj and Yasha and Radiance. Click on the Alchemist. Like, not even a Radiance to his name. And that is the disparity in these 2 cores right now.
Ooh,
Summer,
no.
he's with his team, he's making the punch, and gone. Gotta say, by the way, I respect the fact that you consistently do say why. Like, I would have been, after like saying it once, I probably would have, I wouldn't say why, because of course, Innocence why, like that's already kind of taken. I'd have maybe downgraded him to, let's say, like why? Just to, give myself some breathing time. Or
dedication.
Why to the power of 4, but that's probably more of a mouthful than why.
It's also kind of just fun to say.
You could just say why, but longer. Like why? But that's also
that's
kind of
cool,
awkward.
actually. I like that though.
Yeah, that's true. You just need to like have the animacy for it. I think if you don't put the energy into saying it, it's just a bit awkward. Just like this is.
Bottom. This is very awkward for Abaddon. Does have borrowed time, but there's too many heroes here for this to reliably save his life. Bramble Maze comes in. Crazy jukes through the Bramble Maze, it must be said, but it might not be enough. Normal End doing everything in his power to stop this from happening, but they bring in the entire lineup. Void Spirit's here as well, and he's still alive on Erica. Good God, that took a long time, but he does eventually take a tumble. His team on the bright side, though, fair play to them, end up using the time to take the tier 1 tower, so they still have their heads on straight about the game.
And Normal End, he's trying to complete this vessel. It's such a weird item right now in the current meta, just because of the prevalence of buying Manta, how easy it is to dispel it across the heroes. But he's going to go for that Vessel. He's just completed it now. He doesn't have any charges yet. So if they are going to try and utilize this correctly, they're going to need a free pick-off, get that Vessel charge. Hopefully, Oracle's not available, because not only does Alchemist... Actually, he hasn't got BKB yet. So it's pretty much all about Oracle. If Oracle Fortune's End dispels it, Vessel does nothing. So there will be a window in the next fight where potentially this Vessel reveal could do some work, but again, they need to get some charges first. Maybe Normal End just runs into the middle of them, dies, gets that one free charge, then smokes. Is that what you were thinking?
I was actually thinking that last fight they had down bottom where they abandoned him to chase the Baron. He should have stuck around and died, so he would have had the Spirit Vessel charge when it eventually emerged. Top lane, Yul Scepter out onto this Maresca. She is still alive for a while. She does end up dying. They commit the global silence for this though. So they definitely need to get Normal End out of here. Dolan though catches up to him, even commits the full RP. That's a lot of hate being shown towards the Rubik. But on the bright side, does get a Spirit Vessel charge.
All right, this is actually a timing. I mean, sure, global's down, but there's no RP available, so you're mirroring 1-for-1. And then now you've got, Ravage available. Abaddon's got his, it could be an opportunity to go. Not the most comfortable of ones, but they might be able to find it.
Let's see what they decide to do. Holy Grail still mostly in control of the game, looking towards taking a tier 2 tower on the top side of the map. And then after this, we start to think about when they encroach into the Roshan pit, try and get themselves an Aegis. Echo jumps forward. That's a... you see, it's what you're talking about. He knows there's no RP, so he can make these kind of risky jumps.
Wow, it's so risky. He just needs to be like one Rogue Remnant or one Fortune's End getting precast, and he is just out of there.
I think probably somebody on the team probably let him know that, bro. Like, dude, it's not worth it. Just let it go. Bottom. Oh, no, not again. This feels like deja vu. The team is coming. Terrorize will be there. We've seen how long it takes to kill off this Abaddon. Let's see how much time he can buy for his squad. Tidehunter waiting in the wings for a Blink Ravage. He gets jumped on, though. So he has to just walk in for the Ravage. Doesn't have a Blink Dagger just yet. They zip themselves in onto Ghan. They bait out the False Promise. But I think that was the intent. They're baiting the edges of the fight. Skewer back. Shining, not the target you want to go on. Killing him quickly, certainly not going to happen. So this fight doesn't seem like it's actually going to break out further than it already has. Radiant side happy to hold the tower. Lost Dark happy to keep Abaddon alive. And everybody just goes home.
Still yet to utilize that Vessel though. We're still lacking that opportunity for Normal End to go, I bought this item and we're going to kill this hero. It's that constant battle. Do we have global? Is the Fortune's End available? Are they going to... I mean...
No way.
It's so difficult. And they're actually going for Roshan.
No Alchemist, way. They do not have the damage for this.
I mean,
no
Alchemist is 100 gold away from BKB. This could be the setup that allows Last Arc to actually get the fight. Global's back up. Ravage is available. Still no False Promise for 55 seconds. This could go sideways for Holy Grail if they mess up the execution.
Holy Grail. They get the G-Ward now. They're channeling the stun for the Alchemist. Who's he going to find first? Coming across Rubik. They stun him up. But they don't want to engage the fight immediately. Like you say, they are aware of the ramifications of being badly positioned into a global silence, into a Ravage. At the same time, look at Ghan. Coming across Echo. Just going to try and zip himself away.
Out BKB's coming out on Courier. But Out now doesn't have ultimate. So again, it's such an awkward window. 30 seconds... BKB available, but no ultimate. His attack speed's going to be a little bit limited. He's still going to be able to throw his body into the fight and enable the Mag and Void Spirit.
They all got scouted underneath the ward, but a beautiful Terrorize comes in. Sadly, the follow-up not there in time. And they keep targeting Erica. It's either him or Shining, though, which kind of sucks. Neither of them are very nice targets. So they're the ones standing on the front lines.
Have they even scouted out how low Roshan is right now? I don't think they've thrown a Remnant in yet. Ghan's about to do it now.
Yeah, it gets popped immediately, though, by Shining. Now Yul Scepter going out onto DQQ. Global Silence will be there as well. He's inside the Shadow Realm, however. And Echo has found the long zip onto SJ, but they get the false promise off soon. Shining gets off a Ravage, stunning up several heroes in the process. But where's the follow-up from his team? They get the RP down onto this Abaddon, and they're able to kill him off. Khan having another double damage rune in this game. DQQ and boys, they're trying to chase down off the normal end. They really want to find him. Yul's into the air. They should be able to get off the skewer. Okay, very nicely done by normal end with the stolen skewer onto the high ground. But he will still end up dead. While this is happening, Gun and Summer are finishing off Roshan. So they get the fight, they get the Abaddon, they get the cause, and they get the Aegis.
Yeah, I think even though the play was pretty cool in concept, it just wasn't able to get it across the line. They didn't have enough damage from Last Dark to actually kill off the Roshan. Also didn't help that it was a daytime Roshan where Holy Grail were able to utilize the TPs and the buybacks. Like this Roshan just sat at 1/5 HP the entire fight, and Holy Grail consistently sitting on the fringe. They start with the global, they look for the Oracle. He doesn't die inside that combination, which allows him just to continue kiting out for a little bit longer. And now you see on the right hand side Summer, he doesn't really care about this. Beautiful RP post Abaddon ultimate, and this is where the fight just completely collapses. Storm spent his entire resources to kill off one Oracle. Willow's already brought back. Your Abaddon's dead. It's just not the best fight. And again, I respect the idea of doing this Roshan play. There were moments where timings weren't layered nicely for Grail, but they just couldn't connect the dots. If they maybe had one more ounce of damage in their lineup, get the Aegis, could be a different story. But yeah, now Holy Grail 10k lead with an Aegis themselves, 20,000 net worth nearly on this Alchemist, doubling the Abaddon pretty much. It'd be one of those games.
Well, you said you're concerned about Alchemist being 2 items ahead. He's almost 3 at this point on the Abaddon. It's kind of crazy. Tier 1 tower has been taken. Tier 2 about to fall middle. They're even stealing Wisdom runes away from the enemy team. So now the question is, T, what is the plan if you're on the side of the Lost Dark? What do you do now? Dolem is going to try and find a solo kill here, but Baron thought about going in, but he's like, actually, you know what, buddy? I think you're better off alone. Sorry, mate.
Wait, it's one vessel charge. Take the dub where you can. Dead for 38, but we got a vessel charge, sure. No, I think for Last Dark, if they can survive this window of Aegis, again, it's only up for another 2 minutes 40, then it's going to be how do they start the fights? Because Alk will eventually, he's the type of carry that excels in like the first 35 minutes of the game. And as soon as you hit like the 40-minute mark, questions start getting asked because like ACs get picked up, halberds get picked up. There's like ways to annoy him. And if he can't kill during his like BKB ultimate phase, then he's just getting kited out slowly. And so there will be this late game timing where all the items are online. Abaddon is obviously 3, 4, 5 slotted. He's happily caught up with the Alk, and it's on Holy Grail to find that confidence to break the base at this point. Because if they don't, yeah, Storm will find that one chance. He's buying the Orchid as well, I believe.
Yeah, he just got Orchid. Right now they're trying to kill off Shining, and it looks like they're going to succeed in this endeavor. As the Tide Hunter, Normal End did his best, but without a Force Staff, without a Glimmer Cape, doesn't have any viable way to keep him alive. That'll open up the tier 3 tower. Look how quickly they're taking it right now.
Yeah,
Holy
they
Grail.
have to break the base. I mean, he's got AC. This is so much farm on the Alchemist. But his poor Tide Hunter, he enters the fight with what, 6 armor, and then AC just takes it with 5 away. Like, it's just so damn squishy. Pair that with the damage of a Void Spirit, he's about to get Nullifier. Whew.
Scary times for the side of the Lost Dark as they lose their first lane Orax. Melee set taken completely. Ranged is almost certainly going to fall at some point, although it's really funny watching these illusions hit it to no avail.
This is just like life, you know? You gotta keep trying, you can't give up. Even if you don't succeed and whatnot. It's like some terrible gym rap that you listen to get that extra lifting or whatever.
Is this our modern version of... who is it? The guy that pushes the boulder up the mountain?
Yeah, exactly. This is I can, mate. We're online. We can just Google it. Man who pushes up
Isn't it Sisyphus?
boulder. I have a slur. That's a scary word to say. It is.
Yeah, Sisyphus. My boy Sisyphus.
God, I love
I mean, there's also a way more depressing route we could have taken with these voice rates hitting this thing for no reason. But I like the idea of it being a potential positive spin.
They're in need of positivity right now on the side of the Lost Ark. And where's that positivity going to come from? We at least have a Manta Star for this Abaddon. He's trying to get into the Bash or Blink, but that's it, mate.
So far behind. I feel like this was the expected outcome when I see this Tidehunter. Like, there was no route where I'm like, wow, Abaddon's going to be able to keep up with this Alchemist, and they've just got to keep their lanes pushed out, wait for the opportunity, and then look to take it. Like, this is Holy Grail's game to lose in regards to the incorrect blinking from Alchemist. The BKB wasted, and then you disjoint the cores from the supports, and then suddenly your net worth is kind of split across the fight. That is the Last Ark's biggest hope to be able to come back into this game.
They're still playing outside of their base right now. They're not being corralled within it. There's no Aegis they have to worry about. So they at least have some time before Holy Grail come to end the game. They'll pick up some Tormentors, hope for the next set of Wisdom Runes. And who got the shot? It's Rubik's shot. I mean, that's actually pretty decent. He's been struggling to save people, but his positioning has generally been quite good. So having access to this does help out these heroes like Shining a little bit more.
Yeah, I think fundamentally it's going to be the Shining savior because he's very squishy. He has no armor to his name. So being able to like just bring that back, and I already mentioned positioning quite a lot for this Alchemist. He blinks in to stun a guy. If that guy then gets dragged back away from the fight and he chooses BKB for it, suddenly it's, you know, small opportunities arising, and you know, Last Ark, they need as many little opportunities as possible to find the comeback here. They cannot dictate the success of this game for themselves. They really need some misplays to occur.
They are existing in the proverbial game is hard zone at the moment. But they're trying. They just picked up a Blink Dagger for this Abaddon as well.
Oh, he actually didn't go bash, it just fully went for it. This is going to potentially provide the opportunity during global Storm Zip, Abba Jump.
Oh no.
You know, kill off the Oracle.
That being said, he walked underneath an Observer Ward, so did Shining, so both of them are actually in trouble. They're being smoked into right now. They're coming at them, T. They come across this Abaddon first. Harpoon from the Magnus drags them back into the rest of the crew. Shining is nearby, though. So is why. Abaddon, no borrow time triggered off just yet. They finally do force him into it. Can they keep him from leaving? Yule Scepter, nice little blink in from DQQ, but he blinks away himself. He is still alive. Dolem, though, Blink RP does come in. There's going to be a global silence, but there's BKBs to ensure they still find the kill. Shining, because of said BKBs, cannot do anything with his own spells, so he ends up dead. Silencer, not going to fare any better himself. Normal End might at least evade the initial stun. I say that, though, but Summer is willing to self-stun if it means catching and killing this Rubik. Echo trying to go into the fight with the buyback from Silencer, but Silencer, you brought back without global, so why? Can't really contribute to this fight. Another buyback from the Rubik. And because they're fighting past the tier 2 tower, unfortunately, they just can't start sieging the base just yet. That's only going to be for a little bit longer, though, as they have a pretty large creep wave coming in through the bottom lane.
And they have to use such large resources to even attempt to take this fight. It's not as if when they respawn, it's like, guys, let's go. Global's been used. Sure, you have the Ravage, and I feel like Last Ark, they have to smoke, even if it's not the perfect opportunity. Like, look how desperate they are. They've smoked 3. Tide's not even in the smoke. Abaddon's pushing out the wave. It's incredibly disjointed. Roshan's going to respawn in 1 minute, but that just means everything from Holy Grail is going to be fully online. They need to get a pick. They need something. Yeah. Otherwise, this game will just go to the side of Radiant.
Radiant side will smoke up themselves now for Holy Grail. They have the high ground positioning. They break these smokes. They jump on Rubik. Almost kill him off. Does manage to find the lift back, but he eventually ends up dead. That's a dieback from the Rubik. Zip in after the Ravage. Can they kill anybody during this? They just don't have the damage right now, T. They can't do anything. They do find that Oracle is also too tanky to kill. Echo is forced back away from the fight. Summer finds the stun onto why. kills him off, looks towards Shining, and he easily mops him up too. One of the survivors of this fight, if this a pattern, but very shortly that's gonna change. No more borrow time from him, which means no more life from him, and no more game for the side of Lost Dance. GG, well played is called, and Holy Grail will send us to a deciding Game 3.
Well deserved, honestly. Like, maybe the team that gets